Good evening, America. My name is Donald, and welcome to Fake News, where every day at 7 p.m. we discuss events that have spanned across the United States of America, making it great once again. We've seen how quickly America was brought back to its path of glory since the election of Donald Trump. Our president and benevolent dictator has made it clear who America is for: rich, white men. And I'm really excited to see where I fall in this emerging racial hierarchy. Anyways, enough about me, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a loaded segment discussing everything from politics to entertainment across the United States. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today on our docket first, let's discuss the political situation in today's America. With Donald Trump's election to the presidency, the political theater in the United States has definitively shifted about 50 years back. Now, more to talk about this, we'll be talking to Mr. Jeff Sessions. Jeff, to you.
Thank you so much, Donald.
My name is Jeff.
For that depressingly real description. Today, we see a shocking development in our political field. Historically, we've seen the rights of our citizens steadily drop and grow. We saw how our political participation was expanded to include women, African Americans, and then the young. However, for the first time, we see our rights have gone backwards. Misogyny is now America's choice of political ideology. With Hillary Clinton's loss in politics, we've ushered in a new era of white, male-dominated politics. Trump's strategy of constantly attacking Hillary for being a woman rather than for her policy stances was a huge success and established a new political era in America. It seems that he's tapped into our natural paths of least resistance to treat women as subpar to men in all fields and skills. It really seems like we have our gender roles straight. No longer do we have annoying minorities representing America inaccurately. Instead, America has now embraced the correct political representation that it needed. Only the elite white males of America can accurately represent us. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, thank you so much, Jeff. It really seems like America is back on its way to true and expected democracy. I really think that the direction our society is going in is the direction that makes sense. I mean, it's natural for us to assume that patriarchy is so clearly the dominant and hence correct ideology to dictate our lives. I'm also glad to announce to our viewers that we recently demoted my previously female co-anchor to the teleprompter writer. Hey Jane, how's it going back there?
Hey.
Okay, well, she just stormed off. Classic, patriarchy in action. What can I say, ladies and gentlemen? It's foolproof. Anyways, next, let's head over to our sportscaster, Rex Tillerson. Rex, over to you.
Thank you so much, Donald. Today we have a fantastic piece about basketball, specifically Asians in basketball. Asians in basketball. It sounds ridiculous, right? That's what we thought when the NBA's perennial Asian player took the floor. Jeremy Lin is currently the point guard for the Brooklyn Nets after being quite the journeyman in the NBA. He immediately made ripples throughout the league as he was one of the only Asian players to play for the sport. Despite efforts to expand the diversity in the league, however, this newsroom is quite concerned about his performance in the league. Now, as all the great casters have emphasized that we look beyond the stats. Points per game? Not important. Assists per game? Not important. Rebounds per game? Not important. Does he even play? Not important. Instead, we have a professional and purely scientific way to determine whether or not a player is good: his skin color and race. Now, the majority of NBA players are African American, making them exceptionally good at the sport. But Jeremy Lin is Asian. He simply can't be good at basketball. I mean, he seems to be an anomaly. He matches several of the other expectations. Harvard? Check. Rich? Check. I just don't see basketball. Either way, back to you in the studio.
Wow, Jeremy Lin is a real wimp. And either way, what was he doing on the court in the first place? I mean, everyone knows that basketball is a black man's sport. MVP after MVP, we see a black man winning it. Do you see a white man? No. Do you see an Asian man? Definitely no. Jeremy Lin should just try to stick to his stereotypes. And we have him trying to disrupt it. He should stick with the books and stay back at Harvard like he belongs. Anyways, moving on with tonight's broadcast, we have Scott Pruitt with the weekly forecast for us. Take it away, Scott.
Thank you, Donald. As we see, the forecast for this coming week is perfect. We're gonna get sunny skies with an average of 72 degrees. The high for this week is gonna be 75 degrees, and the lows are gonna be a cool 68 degrees. With these temperatures, it's obvious, completely obvious, that global warming is a hoax. There's just no way we can have this perfect of a weather if global warming was real. It doesn't matter if we're in San Diego, the weather capital of the world. It doesn't matter that Somalia is having the worst drought it has in decades. It doesn't matter that the oceans are about to cover the Maldives. It even doesn't matter if the scientists are calling us out. It just does not matter. All of these things do not matter one bit. And the only thing that matters is the weather around us. Perfect. Absolutely gorgeous. And make sure to tune in weather next time. Back to you, Don.
Thank you so much, Scott, for opening our eyes to the truth that global warming is a hoax. Now, we may believe this as citizens, but are we being represented properly in Congress? Well, have no worries, viewers, because Senator Inhofe from Oklahoma and a proud Republican has done just this. Look at this clip, standing up to the false president, Barack Obama.
National attention, and in case we have forgotten, because we keep hearing that 2014 has been the warmest year on record, I asked the chair, you know what this is? It's a snowball, and that's just from outside here. So it's very, very cold out, very unseasonal. So here, Mr. President, catch this.
Wow, those were some powerful words and even some more powerful actions. That snowball there should be framed and put in a glass case for us to realize that history has been made. Anyways, let's move on to one of the more controversial topics that our nation faced just a year ago. African Americans in the entertainment industry, specifically regarding the Oscars and the awards. Today we have Jared Kushner to discuss and to update the possible solution to this very controversial issues. Kushner, to you in the field.
This is Kushner, live from the Oscars at the red carpet. Thank you so much, Donald. See, it's quite interesting and exciting to see how this story has matured over the course of the year. The Oscar Association this year has announced the introduction of a new award, and that is to balance the blatant racism at the awards they displayed a year ago. They have now split all major awards into two categories, one for minority and one for whites. and they have seemed to emphasize the superiority of the white award as well. To me, that is a fantastic job of solving the problem they had earlier. Minorities are now satisfied by just getting an award, while the world recognizes the clear ideological definition of white supremacy, just like how the world is supposed to work. We now have the best male minority actor and the more superior, by far, white actor. It's so exciting to see how far we've gotten. As of yet, we have gotten more response from the Black community, but there is absolutely no reason that they should be upset. This is completely fair, isn't it all? And once again, thank you so much, and join me next time. Back to you, Donald, in the studio.
Wow, Jared, thank you. It's really heartwarming to see how we're advancing together as a society, as separate but equal. You know, blacks and whites have made strides to put all of this liberal nonsense in the past. Now Black people can get the awards that they deserve separately, and white people can get the awards that they deserve separately. But even though that these are separate, we promise you as the hegemony that they will be equal. Because today, race doesn't exist anymore. We live in a post-racial society. I don't even see a Black person when I see them. It's like I'm colorblind. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Fake News. And I hope that you all have a good night. But make sure to follow that path of least resistance and don't start any counter-hegemonies. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time.